Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment Official Channel. I am your host, KJ, and this is the podcast slash YouTube channel where I review movies and TV shows from my favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment Official Channel. Now let's go, baby. Hello. Now, I'm going to do a little something different. And I might be doing this going forward for the year 2025 and forever probably. But decided to start now, and I'm going to test this out, and maybe if you guys like this, I'll do this way. If not, I'll just go back to the audio way. So, it don't matter. But this is going to be my non-spoiler review for the new movie out in theaters right now, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That's why I got the Sonic hat on. Yep. And I'm just gonna do this for the people who not sure if they want to go out and see it. Obviously, the holidays are coming up, like Christmas. You got New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, all that good stuff, and you may not be have time to have seen this movie, or you're just not sure. But let me be the one to convince you to go out and see this in a non-spoiler way. So you don't have to worry about me talking about particular scenes or how this film ended and talk about anything else in that. But if you have seen that movie, if you have, don't worry. I have a spoiler review out now on the YouTube channel. So definitely check that out. And if you do watch it, I would love to hear your your opinions in the comments below, your theories, what you think is going to happen, where you see this going, and if you, for the people who have not seen this movie and you're watching this and you're going to go out and see it, let me know in the comments below and let me know what you think about this movie. So again, sit back, relax, chill, get a sandwich, get some chips, whatever it is, and let me be the one to convince you to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So let's get into it. Now, this is the third installment to this movie franchise. It's a fun, action-packed movie, just like the other two. And this is a family-friendly movie, so all family members could come see it of all ages and enjoy it. And definitely the Sonic fans as well, from the 90s to the early 2000s. This is kind of like a love letter to you guys and me who are a fan of the Sega generation, the Sonic franchise, and all that. Whether you played it on the Sega Genesis to the Sega Dreamcast, or maybe at the time when Sonic games were on the Xbox, to PlayStation, to Nintendo game consoles of many different consoles of generations. This one's for you guys. It's a love letter. It was fun to watch, really excited. I even popped in a lot of scenes where I was like, "Oh man, they put that in the movie, or they said this, or they played this song." Like, it was so cool, and it's a really good feel good movie. And also, it just reminded me how much I enjoy playing all the old Sonic games and even the latest ones out now. Let's talk about Keanu Reeves playing as Shadow the Hedgehog. Keanu Reeves, to me, did an excellent job of performing to Shadow as a voice actor. I believe he brought this character to life, made it very believable. And yeah, it at times it felt like this was a John Wick movie, but it's Shadow, or maybe it's more of Shadow being like John Wick, but it was a good idea to interpretate that as well because it showed like the true personality of Shadow the Hedgehog. For people who definitely have not played the Shadow the Hedgehog video game back in like, oh, I don't know, the 2000s. I know it was on the Nintendo GameCube for sure. So that's how long ago that game's. And obviously, this is a character that has been in newer Sonic games and in future like as well. And obviously, this is a well fan favorite character as well. So Keanu Reeves did an excellent job. and I just love the way he portrayed him. I like the CGI. I love the CGI and VVX effects to all the characters, and especially Shadow. I thought that was amazing. And you know what? When you watch it, if you just look at it by the design of it compared to Shadow and Sonic, like Sonic has, obviously they remade his designs a lot better from when they first teased the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie. But this one with Shadow, they really went well detailed in it, and I love the way you can really tell the difference between Shadow and Sonic. And I'm not just talking about because Sonic's blue and Shadow is black and red. This is more of like the details, like the way the spikes are portrayed on Shadow and Sonic, and the way they run and the way they view things. I thought they got that well down perfectly well, and I also just loved it because it made it make it easier for the audience, the viewers, to understand the difference between them in that way. And I thought they did well with that, especially with the designs of this. Really well. I loved it. And I also just love the fact where, I thought they weren't going to do it, but instead, Shadow is, he doesn't really run like Sonic. He like levitates and glides in midair, but he runs really fast. And I love they really highlighted so much the fact that one thing, and this is not a spoiler, this is just a general information. If you play the games, Shadow can teleport in a fast way when because he uses the speed thing, like speed force in a way, and he can just transport pop 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 here and there, and you won't see him coming. I thought that was really well done, and again, it was just fun to watch. And also, I like the idea like they show us in this movie the difference between Sonic and Shadow of how one can stay positive after losing somebody he loved in a tragic way, and then they show how Shadow lost somebody that he cared about, and show how he chose the negative way where he's willing to destroy everything, and he has given up on the people, given up on the world. And we see like the two being treated differently in these type of situations. And yes, the shadow story in this film kind of reminds you kind of like with Knuckles, but the difference is to me that I think that you guys will definitely see is between Shadow and Knuckles and the similarity story wise from Sonic 2 is that Sonic is not, or Shadow, I should say, sorry, is he's more of a serious, he's not really goofy. He doesn't have that sense of humor like Knuckles or Sonic or Tails in that way, but he's more serious about things, and he's somebody you just don't want to mess with. Like, and he's has that lone wolf feel, or if you're a Marvel fan, he has that Winter Soldier vibe to him as well, and I really like that. But we also see how this story is showing how sometimes when somebody's lost, you just need some good people in your life, and Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles were the prime story of that when it comes to Shadow. And Shadow is the prime story of a bunch of friends who are meeting somebody new and just wants to be a good friend and try to help them out. And it was a really good life lesson story told of showing how these characters are maturing and moving forward through grief. And again, it is going towards the kids, so this is a children's story, but the plot was amazing and it was told very well, and I just loved everything about it. Now, this movie to me felt like playing a video game, which I love that part about it. Because there was times where I was holding, I gotta find it. I bought this at the movie theater. Is a Sonic the Hedgehog popcorn bucket. Ooh, I didn't mean to hit the microphone, but this is a popcorn bucket that you can get, and while I was holding it, I just felt like playing a video game because some of the action scenes and the battles and the fights were so fun. It felt like a Sonic the Hedgehog game. When you play it, you would do these type of battling, and I thought they got that excellent very well. And I think that's important when you're gonna make a video game into a movie. I believe that you want to try to put that video game story feel to it, and I thought they knocked that part out the park, and it was just so awesome to it of that type of format. And another thing with the way the movie ended was excellent. I think they execute this so well. And this is a third movie, so it has a, to me, Sega and Paramount Studios has did an excellent trilogy movie. I mean, back to back. The first one was great. The second one was okay, but the third one, they learned from the mistakes they made in the Sonic 2 movie and cut out a lot of that extra fat, the extra scenes that may not be necessary to have in a film, but that's what they did well. And those are the one things I liked about it. Now, the things I didn't like about it is there were certain things in the movie that I felt like they should have added, or the scene should have just been a little more longer, so the reasoning and to understand each character's reason would be easier to understand. To now, for some people, you might have to go back and play some old video games of Sonic or just watch some YouTube videos that give a brief Easter egg breakdown and stuff. But I wish there were some scenes that were just a little bit longer, and I feel like the audience could understand, especially when you're introducing a new character like Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, Jim Carrey, I thought he did well. I mean, he killed it. I mean, he's probably one of the goats. Like, to play two different characters is amazing, and I thought that was awesome. And he was so funny. I love the comedy to it. But the one thing I didn't like about it is the way they treated Dr. Robotnik in this. I felt like they could have teased like he has a an evil plan or something, but they never really did. They kind of left it up as not that I seen they were trying to leave it up as a mystery, but it was more like, okay, so what are we waiting for? When we don't really know the way they treated Dr. Robotnik in this. But I felt like some of his origin story should have been told a little bit more in this film as well, the way they went with this. But maybe in the next one, because it is confirmed of spring of the year 2026, or I believe, is going to be Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Now, and it might be 2027. So it's either the year 2026 or 2027. But they are going to do a Sonic the Hedgehog form 4. And it's already been confirmed by Paramount and Sega on the release date of this film. So they got an idea, and I hope that it's going to be tough because, again, they left the door open for it, and obviously they confirmed it, but they did find a way to make sure this story had a good proper ending to it, where I think that if they don't get to a Sonic the Hedgehog 4, even though they announce it, at least they have a perfect trilogy film out of Sonic 1, 2, and 3 movies. So they did really well. I highly recommend to go see this. And for the main reason is if you're a video game lover or a video game fan and you love Sonic the Hedgehog, definitely go see this. Don't wait till it's come out on the streaming service. Go see it now in theaters. It's worth it. I had so much fun. And the thing, the movie theater that I was in had a lot of children, and a lot of their parents were like around my age and stuff. And to have that many kids in the theater and not to lose focus and not get bored or get squirmy in their seats where you have to be quiet in the movie theater. This film really kept all those kids' attention span on this film because it had so much in it and so much fun. It was a ride to enjoy watching this movie played out, and everything was cool. They even had some songs that you may be familiar with from Sonic games, from the older ones into the current ones that are out now, and it has so much. So, what a great franchise! I loved it. I think the human actors as well. I like how they did these characters better. They gave them enough time of scenes like to make you like them and make you care for them, but they didn't use them so much where you weren't seeing a lot of Sonic or Tails or Knuckles or Shadow, Doctor Robotnik and stuff. But they really gave the regular humans you know some time to shine, but they main focus on Sonic and the gang, and I thought that was more important at this point, especially when you're at the third film of this franchise. It should be all about Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and whoever else comes into their lives. And there's a lot of, you know, characters within the Sonic universe, so I'm glad they did that, and I think that made this film so much better. Obviously better than Sonic 2, but not as good as Sonic 1, obviously. But again, I loved it. This is a film you should definitely see. And if I had to give it a 1 out of 10, well, guess what? I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Like, really, really done well. I loved it. I think it's worth it. And I can't wait to see what's next. So, that's my review, y'all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace